Let me be brutally honest. You don't lack strength or endurance because you don't lift enough or don't run enough. You're missing one key element that's invisible to you right now, but which you'll fully understand by the end of this video. And by using this one key element, you will completely transform your strength, skill, and sustainability. You'll even gain body mastery, and you'll do it faster than you realized was possible for you, just like all the students of the Pac-Rimian universe. Point 1. Strength looks cool. Endurance can seem boring, but there's one quality that will take you to new levels, well, it's invisible. Perseverance is a mental quality that cannot be readily seen except in the evidence of the transformation. Both cases, number 1, gaining endurance to push with strength for long periods of time, or 2, being able to do short bursts of power, both require perseverance. Perseverance is developed in 3 ways. When you think you're at 100%, you're really only at 20. Because imagine you're in the middle of a really hard set. You think you're maxed out, but then an alarm goes off or a dog starts chasing you, and all of a sudden, you're able to manage a huge burst of strength. Learning to tap into that is part of perseverance. And then doing hard stuff that other people don't do, like taking the time to build press handstands, V-stands, and muscle-ups that will completely transform your body and brain is perseverance. And doing the training that you know is good for you and when you don't want to is perseverance. Handstand training. Start with support stance, straight, feet pointed, okay? Core engaged. If you look from the side, you'd see I'm in a hollow position, okay? I'm not slack. Hollow, all right? No turtle head. Okay. Up. Good. Point 2, the one thing that'll separate you from the old you and your new avatar of superhuman strength and skills is the invisible element of perseverance. I've had to learn it, sometimes the easy way, sometimes the hard way. Going through injuries or breakdowns simply demands it. And the only way you build perseverance so that you gain endurance is by going through the fire intentionally and continuing until you reach the other side, no matter what. And you will reach the other side. Often you don't even realize how much is still left in the gas tank. After doing this for 32 years, I can readily tell you who is in the zone and who is not. I can tell you from how you walk, how you hang your head, even how your eyes look. You think you're at 120%, but you're really only at 20. Typically, when I'm teaching, training could be going great, but oftentimes, no matter how good it's going, they'll get to a point where we'll have to have the chat. My volume goes up, my intensity of speech increases, and the particulars of what I'm saying become laser focused. I'm metaphorically hacking into their mindset to inject energy and passion to ignite their own internal flame. Because there will be that 1 or 2 of you who's only at 20%, and then I inject that energy and bring you up to 70, 80, 90%. But it's not about me. I say that just to make this very important point for you. You must learn to find your own internal voice to bring yourself up to those higher levels of perseverance. You're gonna see that things will start breaking down maybe, and so you'll have to go to the prior move. So do not feel like you have to keep up. You're gonna stay at your particular level. Still push, try to get to the next level. But then you're gonna see, okay, I'm right about here. All right, I'm gonna stay at that position and keep working on that every time you come up, okay? So some of you guys might be at the top, but we'll go to the L, super straight. Feet above hips. If you don't apply this to your training, you'll get lost, guaranteed. Most people do not achieve pull-ups, pullovers, or pistols, not because they don't try hard or don't put in the time. They don't get there because they lack perseverance as they're going through the blind spots, as we call them. That's why high achievers, entrepreneurs, and professionals hire us to train them through their blind spots and to hold them accountable so that they can gain clarity. Because gaining clarity helps you to be persistent and to persevere. But the true superhuman strength and special skills comes from persevering when you don't know what's coming next and while staying calm. If you can do that, then you begin fixing your weak links, getting out of pain, and even gaining advanced strength and skill without wasting time and while getting rid of stress, having fun, and becoming a ninja.
As the leverage gets less and the lever arm gets longer. So in other words, a person that has short legs versus a person that has long legs doing a V stand, the person that has the longer legs will, if they have the same angle on the V stand, the person that has the longer legs is stronger. And then if they're the same weight, but then the person has longer legs, then that person is going to be stronger overall.
Point 4, Forgetting this one training element will leave you stranded with no strength or skill because it's extremely important but invisible. Okay, so this guy was doing the muscle up workout. This is 5 rounds of pull-ups and dips back to back with no rest. It eventually gets you strong enough to do a muscle up, provided no other weak links that need to be corrected. Now, it was obvious he was half-hearted or lacking belief in himself during his training. That was his weak link. I can easily spot these kind of things. The small, somewhat embarrassed smile, hopping down early off the bar, head kind of hung low. That's how most people train every set and every rep, and even engage most aspects of life. When I see something like that, I turn it up. I tell him he's got to find the fire. I say, you see how I am whenever I'm doing the set, or the other coaches or students? The intensity in our eyes when we're going for that next rep, the sound of going for another one. Now he locks in. He finds his own inner voice. And what does he do? 5 in a row. Everyone cheering. That's perseverance. The most important but invisible element of training revealed through transformation. Because it's an invisible quality that manifests itself through the physical aspect of transformation. Point 5, if you want superhuman strength and skill, you need this invisible element to training more than anything else. You need perseverance. But perseverance isn't always painful though, well, at least physically that is. What people don't realize is that perseverance is most overlooked inside your own mind. It's when you're embarrassed because you couldn't do something that you thought you could do, or you didn't hit the sets and reps, or fell on a skill. When those fears arise, fears of failure, or of looking stupid, or your pride is hurt, that's when calm, peaceful perseverance matters the absolute most. You see those thoughts float through your mind, and then you allow them to just float past. You don't verbalize them, you don't get angry, you acknowledge them for what they are, just thoughts, and those thoughts don't define you. Then you choose to think, talk, and act completely differently, exercising positive perseverance instead. This concept actually transcends all the sets and reps of any workout you can possibly think of, and it'll fuel your sets and reps and everything else in life. And you'll see, you'll absolutely explode with strength and skill as a result.
Fly low. That's it. Easy, straight legs, so middle. Okay. Same thing, guys. And you progress as you're able. Good. I'll do the one I'm working on. Okay.
Point 6, most people assume that when they hit a wall in training, it's time to rest. But here's the truth. The wall is the workout. Perseverance is what you build after you're tired. It's the part of the rep that doesn't show up on the spreadsheet. Sometimes in training or workshops all over the world, students try so hard, they can't hold themselves off the ground. Yet they try everything, stretch more, push harder, but I watch them refuse to stop. Instead of frustration, they just go again and again. And then suddenly they float, they flip, they fly. I've experienced this. It ain't easy, it's brutal. That's why I use those terms all the time to describe this stuff, but it can be simple. However, as you come through the other side, everything brightens, you lighten, and strength and skill just comes to you. Point 7. Let me say something you probably haven't heard from a coach before. Perseverance will break your heart before it builds your strength. You will fail repeatedly. You'll be tempted to retreat back to your zone of comfort and safety. That's when most people quit. But you keep taking steps because what's right at the edge of the horizon of despair and defeat is triumph and victory. I've experienced this so many times through injuries, breakdown, fears. You must continue taking those steps beyond the horizon. That's where breakthrough occurs, and some of the best moments of your entire life and where your heart actually grows the strongest. It's not just a press handstand or a human flag. It's the adventure of life only gained by perseverance through the darkness into light.